Greetings, YouTube. The Doctor is in. Dr. Urias Papers here, coming at you with another commentary for Dungeons & Dragons. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button. If you like this video, hit the like button. And if you have any questions or comments, please leave a question or comment. All right, I want to talk about the Frightened condition in 5th edition Dungeons & Dragons. What is it all about? What classes can we use that can get this? What abilities of classes can we use to get this? How can we take advantage of it? How can we make it more efficient? What spells can we use, and what races can we use? So let's start with this. Frightened, what is it all about? So here is the frightened condition right here. A frightened condition, frightened creature has disadvantage on ability checks and attack rolls, while the source of its fear is within line of sight, and the creature also cannot willingly move closer to the source of its fear. So, as a player, I want everybody to think back to when they may have gotten hit with this condition, and I want you to think about how you felt. Were you able to do things? You had disadvantage on your attack rolls. That was horrible. You couldn't move forward towards the thing that was the source of your fear. That was terrible. It was all terrible. Now, I want you to imagine if you, as the player, can put this condition pretty much at will on enemies. And there are a lot of enemies that can be frightened. Even a lot of undead can be frightened. They're not. There's very few creatures that are immune to this. And one of the other great things about abilities that do place the frightened condition on enemies is that the saving throws against it are usually wisdom or charisma or intelligence based, which are three of the worst, the absolute worst stats for creatures to have for saving throws. So we've talked about what the frightened condition is. So what is the first thing that we're going to talk about? What's the base class we're going to use to work with this? The base class we're going to use for this is Warlock, and we're going to take the Undead Patron. And the Undead Patron Warlock gets this thing called Form of Dread. So as a bonus action, you can transform for 1 minute. Get some temporary hit points. Once during each of your turns, when you hit a creature with an attack, you can force it to make a wisdom saving throw. Remember, I told you the wisdom saving throws are some of the worst for creatures in the game. And if the saving throw fails, that target is frightened of you, so you are the source of its fear until the end of your next turn, which means everybody that goes after you until the end of your next turn can just go to town on it. That creature is now going to have disadvantage against your party members, and it can't move closer to you. So you're now controlling it. That's the big thing about frightened, is it's a very good control condition to use to your advantage. In addition, you're immune to frightened. And you can use this a number of times a day equal to your proficiency bonus, which is really good. So, when you get 3 and 4 proficiency bonus, then 3 or 4 times usually is, you're doing 3 or 4 different encounters per long rest. So that's one great thing. All right. So, in addition, as a Warlock, you get Eldritch Blast, which is a roll to hit. And remember, I said when you roll to hit once per turn, while the Form of Dread is happening, and you get that for 1 minute, and you can use Form of Dread up to a number of times a day per your proficiency bonus. So you can hit them with Eldritch Blast while you're in Form of Dread, and every Eldritch Blast once per turn can impose frightened on that creature. In addition, if you put Repelling Blast, which is a Warlock invocation on it, it pushes them 10 feet away. And remember, they can't get closer to you. So now you've hit them with an Eldritch Blast. You've made them make a wisdom saving throw. They're probably going to fail, so now they're frightened, and you push them 10 feet away. You did damage, you put frightened on them, and you pushed them 10 feet away. They can't get closer. So this is a good combination of an ability that the Warlock gets with the ability the Warlock gets to frighten. Now, I think the next one we're going to talk about is race. And what race are we going to take for this character? We're going to take the Winter Eladrin. And the Winter Eladrin starts out with the ability to phase step. At 3rd level, the Winter Eladrin gets a additional ability on top of that phase step. When you use your phase step, one creature of your choice that you can see within 5 feet of you before you teleport must succeed on a wisdom saving throw or be frightened until the end of your next turn. So you could walk up to something, use your bonus action to phase step away. They will have to make a wisdom saving throw, and then they could be frightened, and then you could blast them with your Eldritch Blast. If you're in your form of dread, that could also frighten them. It's hard to double frighten, so you may be able to get another chance to frighten them, but you could also push them 10 feet away again with a repelling blast. So this is just another way to get the frightened condition on top of being the Undead Warlock. In addition, so let's talk about some class synergies that can work with this too that you can take in addition to the Warlock. You could take Sorcerer, and one of the ones that works really well with this is Wild Magic Sorcerer, which bends luck. In addition, the Sorcerer uses Charisma, which is also the ability that Warlocks use, and they get spell points. That's another great thing too. So you could quicken spells, you could quicken Eldritch Blast, you could quicken a Cause Fear. So you can really work that in. But in addition, you get this thing called Bend Luck, which starting at 6th level, you have the ability to twist fate using your wild magic. When another creature you can see makes an attack roll, an ability check, or a saving throw, you can use your reaction and spend 2 sorcery points to roll a d4 and apply that number as a bonus or a penalty of your choice to the creature's roll. So you can do this during the creature's turn when they're making saving throws. So if you cast Cause Fear on them, they get a saving throw at the end of their turn to get rid of the fear. You can throw this on them, and you could give them a penalty to that saving throw. What else are we talking about for class synergies? You could take Wizard, and you could be a Divination Wizard, and you take the Portent ability at 2nd level. So you get 2 20-sided dice every day, and you roll them, you record the numbers, and if you get low numbers, you can use those numbers to give to something for a attack roll, saving throw, or an ability check. Saving throw is the big one. So you can force something to fail a saving throw. Usually if you get less than a 10 on the 20-sided die that you roll, that's the one you want to keep for giving away for saving throws. So you could actually put a spell on something like a Cause Fear. This works well with that, or any of your fear effects, and cause them to fail that saving throw. And then that locks them in that feared condition. Lastly, for class synergies, we've got the Bard. The Bard works well also with the Warlock because they're both charisma classes. But in addition, you can take College of Eloquence, which has the Unsettling Words ability. And this, used as a bonus action, you can expend your Bardic Inspiration and choose one creature you can see within 60 feet of you. You roll your Inspiration die, and that creature must subtract that number from the next saving throw it makes. So you go bonus action, Bardic Inspiration, Unsettling Words. You roll a d6. They take that penalty. And then you hit them with an Eldritch Blast while you're in your form of dread, and they have to make a Wisdom saving throw with the penalty. Or they're frightened. So that's another great one too. Or you can cast a spell like Cause Fear and put the frightened on them. They'll take a penalty to the saving throw. So that's a good one to force them onto that, force that condition of frightened onto them. So what kind of spell synergies are we talking about with this Warlock, with this Winter Eladrin Warlock / Wizard or Sorcerer or Bard? Well, we've got Cause Fear. That's a great spell. You get it as a Warlock. You can get it as a Wizard. Great spell. I think you can get it as a Sorcerer. Great spell. Causes fear for 1 minute. They get a saving throw at the end of each of their turns. It's a Wisdom saving throw again. At higher levels, you can cause fear on more than one creature, which is very cool. And again, this works great with the Repelling Blast from your Eldritch Blast. You can push them away. They can't get near you. What other spells are we talking about here? Mind Sliver. This is a cantrip. Target must succeed on an intelligence saving throw. Intelligence, that's another bad one for most creatures. They take some damage, but the big one is they subtract 1d4 from their next saving throw it makes before the end of your next turn. So you slap this on them, and then you hit them with a Cause Fear, or you hit them with Eldritch Blast. And if you're a sorcerer, you can use this and you can use your points to do quickened abilities. So you could use this as your action, and then you can use a quickened spell like Cause Fear or a quickened Eldritch Blast, and then they take a penalty to their next saving throw for that fear effect. So you can keep slapping those fear effects on them. And once they're feared, then they're at disadvantage to hit everything. And so your fighters and your paladins and your like blade singers and things that have really high armor classes, their armor class actually goes way up when a creature has disadvantage. And the thing is kind of cornered. It can't move towards you again. So again, that's a great thing as well. So that's what I got for you today. I hope you enjoyed it. If you have any questions or comments, leave comments and questions below. And I will catch everybody later.